right, folks. Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here with a preview for Monday Night Raw. Review for Monday Night Raw. I'm trying to see if you guys are all in here. I am not finding you guys, though. Why? Okay, there's somebody. Alright, I'm wondering where everybody is for this review. Got me worried here for a second. If you're in the live chat, make sure that you guys are out there commenting, talking about the show. Like I said, this is going to be a review for Monday Night Raw, so come on in, say something, and hopefully this is working. Said I had a couple people here in the show. Let me see if I can see who is in here. Anybody? Somebody's watching. Message me in the chat box if you can hear and see what's going on, just so I can get some confirmation of who is actually on and who is watching the show right now. But Monday Night Raw, man, you guys are going to be in for a little bit of a doozy. Goober, what's happening, my man? Goober, I'm trying to, hey, what's going on, Rob? See, it says there's only one person in here. There must be more than that. I'm kicking it off, man. I don't care at this point. You guys are here for the Monday Night Raw review. We're going to do it real quick. I'm not going to keep you too long. I know that my review for Elimination Chamber went real long with Brian and everybody else. So, like I said, it happens. We were talking. Good show. But I'll try and keep the shows a little bit shorter going forward with all of that. If you guys are liking these Monday Night Raw reviews, please let me know, because I've been debating on if I should stop doing them. I know that you got to do them after the WrestleManias, after Raw and all that stuff, or the Raw after Mania, excuse me. And you got to do shows like that. But are you guys feeling these shows that are happening? Please let me know. I'd be very interested to know. But enough about all this. Let's get into this Monday Night Raw show, because they threw some things at us that were completely different. Right now in the live chat, we've got Goober316, 89 ESR, and Sports Talk Network. What is going on, gentlemen? I would love to hear your thoughts on Monday Night Raw, as well as we talk about the show in its entirety. Make sure you guys jump on in here and enjoy the show at this moment. The first match, or, well, we don't even get into a match, actually. We start off with Triple H coming out. He's talking about Becky Lynch and gives a corporate answer of who Becky Lynch, what she did last night at the Elimination Chamber. Check out the review if you guys want to know what happened with all that. But he says, corporate answer is, if Becky Lynch does that again, she'll be escorted out of the arena by police. Personal answer, he thought it was pretty badass what she did. Hopefully Becky's not getting sucked into all of the corporation BS and everything else. We'll have to wait and see what happens. He also talks about D-Generation X being announced by ESPN for the Hall of Fame. They are the first group that we got to hear about going into the Hall of Fame, so makes things a little bit interesting for what's going on with him. I'll be interested to see what actually happens going forward with that, but for now, we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to talk about DX a little bit later on, too. I would love to just get everybody's thoughts on the whole DX shenanigans, because, I don't know, I feel some type of way about it to an extent, but I also am happy at the same time. And if you guys, man, if nobody else knows, do me a favor, Robert, if you're in here still, post this link to the Everything Pro Wrestling Facebook group page, guys. Spread it around, because I put a link in, and for some reason it did not recognize that stream key. I reset it, and now the link that I posted everywhere else isn't working. I'll have to fix it later. Connor says he's got 2 words for you. Oh, man, you missed everything after that. Sad that they're welcoming China back after she's gone, but well-deserved. I like it, guys, and all the comments are popping up here from the chat, so make sure you guys are checking it out, showing these guys respect. And Triple H also says that we're going to have some NXT talent debut after he talks about the Hall of Fame stuff. So after this little rocky start that I've had for this, he has announced 4 talents: Ricochet, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. So these are 4 of the top guys in NXT right now, and he has announced that they're just going to be on the show. Okay, cool. It's cool to see them. They're going to be in the Cajun Dome here in Lafayette, Louisiana. But we get to our first match. It's a tables match with Braun Strowman and Baron frickin' Corbin. Dude, I am so sick of this damn feud that if they never did this match again, I don't think I'd cry. This feud sucks horribly, dude. Like, damn, man. Like, stop doing this match. Nobody wants to see it. It's just bad. They fought all over the arena. No DQ because they know this match would suck if it wasn't. Power slam through the table. Braun Strowman picks up the victory. Now, we get Paul Heyman coming out afterwards, and Braun's at the top of the ramp. He grabs Paul Heyman by his throat, and Paul Heyman's all choked up. He says, "Give me a minute, I need some water." And they go to an awkward commercial break. These awkward commercial breaks have been happening ever since they announced that they were going to do some different stuff on Monday Night Raw. And I think it's trash, in my opinion. Not a fan of the awkward breaks. Yeah, hashtag red cup of milk. Sorry about that. Needed some water. What do you even do with Braun now? Robert, I don't know. Hey, Joseph Brown, thank you for the subscription, my friend. We are now at 289, and I hope you guys like all that stuff that is popping up with it. I greatly appreciate that. If you guys can get me to 1,000 eventually, but let's keep it moving. If you guys are enjoying the content, please, 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 please recommend it to a friend. We are trying to get everything pro wrestling growing. I've been getting a lot of respect around the community, and I appreciate all of you for helping me do that. Now, afterwards, so Paul Heyman finally comes out. He does his usual Brock Lesnar shtick. Nothing different. They show a video package, though, for Brock Lesnar, and I thought it was kind of cool for people who don't know Brock Lesnar's full-blown history and how everything happened with him. They had to sensationalize it a little bit, but it was very cool to see it. And they put down Rollins, and they basically said Rollins is a dangerous man because he has nothing to lose. Hey, what's going on, J3X Show? I saw you were in the other one. Sorry about that, man. If you guys, like I said, if you got the link for this, please post it in the Everything Pro Wrestling group. I gave them a link before that wasn't working. But we're back on this. So Paul Heyman's in the ring, and he ends up getting interrupted. This was like a show of freaking interruptions, and Balor comes out. Finn Balor, the newly crowned Intercontinental Champion's out there, and he's actually in the ring to cut a promo. And during his promo, he drops names like Razor Ramon, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and the crowd did not pop. This crowd was, I almost said the bad F word. This crowd was horrible tonight. So if you were live and you were there, like, I hope you were one of the few people who I saw in the crowd cheering, going crazy for stuff, because this crowd was trash, bro. 100%. Like, I thought they were no good, in my opinion. I did not like what they were doing, and I just wasn't feeling it. Let's see here. This was meh. The feud's going to be boring. I feel like we've seen it 1,000 times. Brandon says trash. J3X Show, what's going on, brother? 89 ESR. Connor, that's because we have. LOL. You guys are funny in the chat. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. KC Classic, what is going on, my brother? I saw your new video today. Made sure I left a like on it. Feeling the NBA 2K spirit. But we are talking about Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley here from the beginning of Raw. Lio Rush and Lashley end up jumping Finn Balor until Ricochet comes out to make his debut, and he fends them off, and it looks like we're going to get a tag match, playa. And Teddy Long's not in the house, but we knew that was happening. So Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley, and I'm not going to say the Almighty because he's not. Garbage. Finn Balor and Ricochet are going to team up. They're facing these guys in the match. It was a showcase match, basically, for Ricochet to show him off and continue the feud of Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor. Didn't Lio Rush get spine busted last night by Bobby Lashley and beat up? Why in the hell is Lio Rush back with Bobby Lashley? This is the stuff we're talking about, WWE, that makes no sense. And who wrote this? Like, dude, awful. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. Creative writing, come on, dude. Like, you got to do better than that. I don't criticize the talent. I'm looking at you guys who produced the show. Like, what was this? Made no sense. But Lio Rush was very good in this match. Perfect person to have in there, going up with Ricochet. Ricochet looked like a star. He looked like $1 million in there. He really impressed me, but he didn't impress the crowd. This crowd was dead. I'm telling you guys, they sat on their hands. They looked less excited than me doing this review. They were sitting on their hands. I saw someone picking their nose on JD from New York's Twitter timeline. Awful. But in the end, Ricochet hits the 630. I thought it was a fun match, but the crowd killed a lot of this for us watching Raw tonight. We go backstage after that. We have Triple H backstage with Drew McIntyre, and they're talking about how the red carpet got rolled out for everybody, and he wants a match with Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose shows up behind him and slaps Drew McIntyre across the face, and Triple H makes the funny joke, do you still want the match with Rollins, or do you want the match with Dean? Whatever. And he says, change the damn match and make it with Dean. So we have a match made later on, Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre. Dope. We'll see how that winds up, and we'll get into that when we get to it. Then we have the Lucha House Party taking on the team of the Major Bros, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. This match was so important that we got highlights of Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey from the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Once again, I did a review on it last night, so if you want to go back and check it out, you can fast forward through it. We did have Brian Williams from Ukes, makes the WWE 2K19 video games. Also, Malik Kelly from YouTube, great YouTuber, Narcolepsy Boy 94, puts out some great trivia content, wrestling videos, and a bunch more. We reviewed the whole show. Lucha House Party versus Hawkins and Ryder. They actually had Ryder give the hot tag to Hawkins, and you thought maybe this was going to be the first time he got the win. He ends up losing to like a Hurricanrana pinfall where they just hook the legs. 1, 2, 3. Game over for them. No victory here, and we move on to next things because WWE seemed to not care, so why would I, you know? We get heavy machinery out there, and as you know, I'm a big fan of stakes and weights too. And they came out there just talking their nonsense and, you know, doing the bushwhacker stuff that they do, all that. And Lacey Evans comes out again. And I don't know what this obsession is with Lacey Evans, and she comes out, struts her stuff, and then that's it. But what the hell, man? Like, have these guys do something. I said this on the Elimination Chamber review with Brian. This has to be the worst called up NXT class. They have no idea what they're going to do with these guys. They need to get a plan together for all of this. So, whatever. It was a trash segment. These guys just came out, talked, made entrances, walked around, and that was it. Because they had nothing else better for them to do on the show, I guess. So, next we have a backstage segment with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I like the fact that they both had their belts there, showing that they care about the NXT brand, and no spoilers in the chat about what hasn't happened on NXT yet, but makes for some interesting stuff. Now, they run into Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, who want a rematch for the the Raw Tag Team titles. They probably want to fight for those NXT titles over this. They go out there trying to compete for the Raw Tag titles, and they say we should be in that spotlight. But Gargano and Ciampa end up seeing the revival, and they kind of rehash over their old rivalry, and I'll get into that in a second. And they're basically saying we're here to make a name for ourselves, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm pretty hyped for this match, and this is what I would consider to be match of the night, in my opinion. And we ended up getting the Revival versus the Reunited DIY. And I saw on the Run the Ropes Facebook group, shout out to BJ who runs that, they did not like it because it did not make sense to them. Very interesting. They just thought that Gargano and Ciampa hated each other and it didn't make sense that they were teaming. But they've been teasing it on NXT for weeks, so I could kind of go back and forth on that and what would happen and how it would work. But cool, whatever. We get into the match. By the way, this tag feud was one of my favorite matches back in 2016. If you guys saw NXT TakeOver Toronto, I believe there's a review somewhere in my archives for it. Dude, awesome 2 out of 3 falls match with them. Absolutely love it. DIY was one of my favorite tag teams when they were down in NXT. So we had a good match for this. I absolutely love the Steiner Bulldog off the shoulders from the Revival. The Revival know tag team wrestling, and that's something that you'd have to appreciate. So DIY end up hitting their old tag finisher. I don't know if they call it the bomb still or whatever, but it's the super kick running knee combo, and 1, 2, 3 DIY pick up the victory over the Revival. I was shocked to see this. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I thought this was match of the night. Like, out of all of the NXT debuts, I thought this was it. Really good stuff here. Can't be mad. And I don't know what is... I'm getting an alert for suspected frame rates. Guys, let me know in the chat if the video is doing well, please. So after that, we ask ourselves, where does DIY go from here? And that's the question I'm going to pose to you guys to answer in the comment section down below. What happens with all these NXT call-ups at this point? Are they going to be on the main roster? Was this a one-time only thing? Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I greatly appreciate that. Let's get into this match here, or I'm sorry, with the next segment, which was Finn Balor and Ricochet, who had an interview backstage. Finn Balor puts himself over a little bit as the new Intercontinental Champ, but then he gives everything back to Ricochet. So I thought that was pretty dope for him to do that. They did a really good job with that, and Ricochet made himself look like a star here, like he could hang with the big boys. Twitter absolutely hated this crowd. I saw it in all the groups I was in, and Steve runs one of the groups that we were talking in. Steve is in here. He is Sports Talk Network. Steve knows that they absolutely like dogged it. Like, they just hated this crowd in his group. In the Everything Pro Wrestling group, they hated this crowd. Everywhere there was just crowd hate, and nobody was feeling it. See, Goober knows. Goober 316 knows, baby. Revival versus DIY was match of the night for me too. I agree, brother. Everybody hated this crowd. So guys, if you're in the Cajun Dome again or wherever the show was, you got to step it up, bro. Everybody needs to get loud. You got to get the other people next to you into it. Kevin Owens, we had another video with him at the movie theater with his son. Pretty cool to see, showing him doing dad-like things, but he's almost ready to come back, he's saying. I think he's someone we could see come back the night after Mania. That's when I'm expecting to see him return at this point. Cool stuff. We have Boston Hug Connection, who were in the ring. They're in the thumbnail. You guys can see them right over... Can I get my hand back in? Right over here on the video if you're watching live. The Boston Hug Connection are the first WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, according to Michael Cole. We did have Ladies Tag Team Champions before that. Show some respect to the Jumping Bomb Angels and some of the others who came before them, please. But yes, they are technically the first WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. So they're going to run with that. And, uh-oh, the video's frozen? I am not sure why it's freezing. I'm talking regular here. Let me see if I can... I'm not sure why it's freezing, Connor. I cannot tell you. Your voice is live, though. Well, just listen in then, guys, because I can't figure out what the computer here is doing. Yeah. No idea. But we're going to run with it, guys. It is what it is at this point. We're having technical difficulties. Streamlabs OBS. I'm trying to use a new one, guys. I don't know how much longer this is going to work for, if it's giving problems. Let me know, though, if it gets fixed. So afterwards, they come out there. They give like their little sad baby face speech. Everybody in there was either eating it up or they absolutely hated it. I'm cool with Sasha and Bayley as champs. I actually like the duo. I feel like they've been crapped on all year by WWE, and they deserve so much better. So we get into this whole segment. Nia Jax and Tamina comes out, and they freaking like are trying to wreck them. Nia Jax is horrible on the mic. I'm not feeling her as a heel. She's just awful to be awful. She's got go away heat once again. People are not feeling Nia Jax. She lost all that momentum she had last year around this time. So Bully Ray hated the crowd too. I believe it, because Bully Ray knows what he's talking about. So these guys get into everything else. They are freaking stopped by Bayley and Sasha. They're in the ring. Nia Jax actually got put. I was watching with my buddy Phil, and Nia Jax got put into the bank statement or the crossface. And as soon as Sasha cranked back on it, his dog yelped, and I thought it was the funniest like thing. Like dog must have like got its paw caught or something. I just heard yip. So a little funny moment there for me. Had to be there to hear it, guys. But that's the end of that segment. Nothing happened. Nothing came from it. The women's tag team titles, as we said on the review for the Elimination Chamber, they need to have a big match at Mania. Malik brought up to me today in a private DM that he thinks maybe the Bella Twins will be their opponents. Not saying he wants it to happen. Same with me. But the Bella Twins, I suggested Lita and Trish. I could even see a battle royal with multi-women in there for WrestleMania. That's another question if you guys want to answer in the comment section. What do you think is going to happen with this? Next, we had a little Hall of Fame induction ceremony here for DX, HBK, Triple H, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, and Chyna. I wish we would have saw a little Rick Rude in there as well, but we didn't. I have some feelings about this, about the entire treatment of Chyna with all of this, and I'm trying to reserve it because it should be a happy moment for Chyna, and I'm gonna kind of bite my tongue for right now. I won't say too much, but Chyna should be in as a solo act, I feel, and New Age Outlaws could be a tag team act. Triple H could be a solo act. Hell, even at some point, I think X-Pac could be a solo act for someone who could be in the Hall of Fame. DX as a group going in, cool, but I still think Chyna deserves the recognition on her own, too, for everything she did at the time. Thank you, Goober. I appreciate that. I'm not sure why it's like slowing down and then speeding back up for me for this. Nothing has changed for me doing anything, as you guys can see. But unbelievable with this. Leave your thoughts, guys, in the live chat. What do you think about DX going into the Hall of Fame? Do you think it's wrong for Chyna? Are you just happy she's going in? Tell me what you guys think in the live chat for it, and I'll get back to it. Next match, Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre. Dude, this was a quick match. Dean Ambrose ends up losing real quick to a Claymore kick. Drew McIntyre's an absolute beast. He was on point with this and ready to go. Then we got a part 2 of a Lesnar video package of him showing how he dominated John Cena at SummerSlam. And he basically goes back into the whole Rollins is dangerous, but he's going to lose at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar. We cut backstage to Seth Rollins, who's hanging out there. He's being interviewed, and Seth Rollins starts talking, and Seth Rollins is not happy with what Paul Heyman's saying about him, and he says that he will win at WrestleMania. He vows to win the Universal Championship and end Brock Lesnar's reign of terror, and that's something I think that anybody who enjoys pro wrestling right now can get behind, because we have not had the Universal Champion around at all. So we get into this whole segment, and then Dean Ambrose randomly shows up backstage, grabbing his jaw after the Claymore kick, looking out of it a little bit. And Drew McIntyre's there just doing his thing, talking, and it gets pretty weird. And he basically says, dude, what's going on? And there's like this whole, are you crazy? Rollins says to Dean, and Dean's just looks at him like with these bug eyes, and then all of a sudden they kind of just like ended the segment. So something's kind of up here. I don't know what they're doing. Like Dean's like a face now. I don't know if this is part of his way of leaving or if this is a storyline leading into something with Mania. We'll have to wait and see. But we get into the next match, which was, we had a little Elias promo interrupted by Aleister Black. I thought this was a little decent match that we've seen him have on like NXT and stuff. Aleister Black did all of his stuff. Basically, these were all showcase matches tonight for NXT guys. They got their stuff in, and immediately after, Elias faded to Black. 1, 2, 3. There's no kicking out of that. Elias did an excellent job putting over Aleister Black here. Aleister Black needed to look like a superstar, and I think he's somebody who can do something big later on. Goober, I would prefer to go in as solo, but I'm happy she's going in. KC Classic says, should definitely go in as solo. Connor, the Rage Against the Machine theme for DX, great, but the Run DMC theme is underrated. You know what, Connor? I like the Run DMC theme as well, but it's not Rage Against the Machine who sings that song. They sound like them, but it's not Rage Against the Machine for DX. It's someone else actually, and I think their lead singer passed away, if I'm not mistaken. So, but DX theme is classic. I absolutely love it. I know everybody knows the kid who got suspended from school for doing the old chop. Thank God that's not the thumbnail for this video, right? So basic match, like I said, Aleister Black picks up the win. Happy to see him on the main roster. I think he's been someone who's ready to be called up, and hopefully they use him properly. And we get to the main event of the show, the Raw Women's title match, Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. This match was freaking pointless. It was going to be the exact same effect, and they just gave Ruby a little bit more offense, probably because everyone complained last night at Elimination Chamber that she got no offense in. Ruby Riott ends up being taken out by Ronda Rousey with another armbar here. They teased that Ruby may, pick up a sneaky win, and she jumped off the top rope, got caught in the armbar, tapped out. Afterwards, the Riott Squad tried to attack Ronda, and Ronda beat all of them down because she's on the road to WrestleMania and nothing's stopping her. I get it, but I just felt you could have did a better job with everybody else involved at the time for this. I don't know, guys. I wasn't feeling this Raw tonight. I think the crowd took me out of a lot of the excitement that I had for the matches for the NXT people. And Louisiana, gotta be better, man, when you get some exciting stuff like that. That's what leads you to get pay-per-views. The crowd needs to be excited so that WWE's like, yeah, I can do a pay-per-view in Louisiana, in Lafayette, Louisiana. KC Classic, the King of Rock, who? I bet. We hear enough of it from Kevin, trust me. But shout out to Kevin Alvarado too. But that was Monday Night Raw tonight, guys. I've got nothing else to say about it. Do me a favor, guys. Leave your final thoughts on Monday Night Raw in the comment section below. Inside of the description box, I will have links to all of my stuff, social media handles. Give me a follow on Twitter at EPW Show. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. And I'm out. I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow night to do a live review for SmackDown Live. But like I said, let me know if you guys are enjoying these. And I will do my best to continue providing them for you. And I'll have a new podcast up. It'll be on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn. Just type in Everything Pro Wrestling.